Lore Together is proud to be part of the Boss Rush Games Network. Feel free to find out more at bossrushgames.com/network. Hi, I'm Safi.
And I'm Mystic.
And this is Lore Together. This is the podcast where husband and wife team go over all these storytelling, role building, and characters of video games because it's what we like to do together. We lore together.
Yep. And this is episode 146.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of episodes. I just want you to know, everybody, how hard I tried to not overthink saying the first part every time, to the point where today my only thought was, don't overdo it, don't overdo it, don't overdo it. The pressure is on every recording.
We've had quite a few. It's been like 6 tries to get that first part done.
Yes, because if you think about what you're saying at this point, if I think about what I'm saying, I get it wrong.
Yeah.
But if I just let myself say it, it's fine.
Before we get into the episode, if you're to contact us, you can do that many different ways. Instagram, Blue Sky, Reddit, YouTube, Steam, and Discord down in the description below. Or you can contact us via email at loretogether@gmail.com. Or you can visit our website at loretogether.com. And if you'd like to support the podcast, you can do that in 2 different ways. First is 5 stars, thumbs up, whatever it is, wherever you're listening, we appreciate it. The other way is through Patreon at patreon.com/loretogether, where you can pay a per episode pledge, that's per podcast episode, to get early access to those podcast episodes, as well as exclusive access to some Let's Plays, voting rights in our public Let's Plays like Mass Effect 2, which is still ongoing.
Yes.
And you also get a copy of Safi's first novel, Mother Revolution.
Mother Revolution, the story about Virginia as she tries to navigate what to do, and she finds out there is a group of people subjugated by code. So you will get the ebook version of that, as well as maybe other books in the future. Still deciding on that. But either way, more fun stuff is always to come. We always like to make sure our patrons get nice goodies. But the goodies that we're working on today are for everyone. These are public goodies. So
But patrons get it early.
Patrons do get it early. So what is our episode about today, Mystic?
Okay, so this is a weird one.
Is it now?
It is a puzzle game and an exploration game.
Okay.
And in my blind first hour, I also thought it felt like a board game.
Oh, dear.
But it's first person.
It's a first-person puzzle game.
Exploration. Mostly puzzle exploration, but there's definitely a board game feel to it.
Is this the thing that people were calling was a Myst-like, but it really was just solving puzzles in a jungle?
No, that's Witness.
It's Witness, okay.
Yeah. This is a new game. This is 2025.
Jeez, Louise, why are you asking me to guess this? I don't know new games coming out. Still talking about Veilguard like a dork. I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I don't know. And
you're not gonna know this one.
I don't
honestly.
think I'm gonna know this one.
I was clued into this one because it made a splash in the Myst community, where some people thought it was very Myst-like. I don't necessarily agree with that statement, but it's not a.
You're very particular about that statement.
Yes.
Because I think you.
Myst-like used to be a catch-all term for first-person puzzle adventure.
Yeah,
so.
But you wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want to call What Remains of Edith Finch a Myst-like, even though it has a lot of the same properties, or
correct. Yeah,
that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think the only things that you would consider Myst-like, Mystic, are actually the other games that have been made by Cyan.
not always, but every other Myst-like tends to throw something else in it. It throws more characters to talk to, or it throws some sort of inventory management in.
Right.
Or the puzzles are more obtuse and less tied into the world.
Or in the opposite direction, it's just a plain old walking sim.
Yeah.
And they call it Myst-like because it's very atmospheric.
Yeah. So, no, this is a game called Blueprints.
Okay.
It's 2025 by Dogubomb and published by Raw Fury, and was kind of a bit of an indie darling this year.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if it's going to make it to, Game of the Year for the indie category, but I could see it getting there. It's definitely got enough different systems in it to be up in that echelon.
At least up in the echelon of Dave the Diver, which is 50 games in one game. Also, I appreciate you having your finger on the pulse with this stuff, Mystic, because I do not keep up with game news like I used to when we were first together.
Yeah.
If you remember, I blogged about it
That's
a lot.
because I tell you not to, because we won't be able to cover
That's true.
most games then.
So all I'm saying is you're restraining my knowledge, and how dare you?
Again, puzzle game, exploration game, and even in my blind hour that I did, which patrons have access to, that's another thing you get access to, is you get, once in a while, I'll post my first hour of playing a game blind, because it's rare I get to.
These days it's rare
So-
you get to, but when you do, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. But except for Tales of Berseria was probably the hardest one.
Oh, no, forget that.
It took me 2 hours to get to okay, this is actually interesting.
I think also the other one, for different reasons, was also What Remains of Edith Finch, because you got to a point where you
What
were
is
like,
this game? Yes.
Where you cried.
Superliminal, I didn't even make it an hour before I started feeling sick. So, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a lot of non-Euclidean stuff happening.
Man, can you just sidebar? Remember Cloverfield?
I never saw it.
So this was back in like 2007. So children back in the day, the first Cloverfield was actually supposed to be just a monster movie POV video, and it was actually done pretty well in my opinion. Is it a masterpiece in kaiju? No, but the premise was really good. But the problem is, because it's the point of view of one camera from mostly just one singular kind of idiotic character, basically just chronicling everything he's going through, like kind of a dingus. Shaky cam happens a lot. A ton of shaky cam happens.
Shaky cam can be intense.
And I watched it at the time in a small, I might have shared this story before, so my apologies if you've heard this before and you're like, Safi, what are you going on about? I saw it in a small theater in a small town, and literally the announcement was one of the people employed at the theater sitting in front of the screen and letting us know that people got sick, and basically made sure we knew where the bathrooms were, and then goes, and if you can't make it, there's a bucket at the end of this aisle over here. And we laughed. And then it happened. And the person I went to the movie with at the time literally almost felt like he was going to throw up. And I was like, I guess it's a me thing. I can do shaky cam. I can't read in the car, but I can do shaky cam. But that has nothing to do with Blueprints at all.
So, the story at first blush. So, when I was doing my first hour, I had no idea how insane this story was going to get. So, I thought it was going to be like a game called Safecracker, which is a fictional but grounded story. Safecracker, there's not even any story to get into. I can tell you the whole game right now. You're an expert safecracker who is hired by a family to go to their estate of an eccentric who loved safes. And somewhere in there is a final vault that you have to open by going through all these other locking mechanisms. Yeah.
There's no other story in there?
Not really. Not enough to get it. Not enough for us to do.
Okay.
But so that was Safecracker, but it's a fictional but grounded story. I thought this was going to be a fictional but grounded story. At first blush, the story is about a young boy trying to earn his inheritance, a mansion in the mountains. Okay?
Okay.
We begin with Simon P. Jones, our protagonist, is a boy of 14 who had just inherited the estate of his grand uncle Herbert S. Sinclair.
It's always a granduncle, too.
There is a sticking point to this inheritance. Paraphrasing from his will, I, Herbert S. Sinclair, give and bequeath to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, all of my right, title, and interest in and to the house and land which I own near Mount Holly. The above provision and bequest is contingent on my aforementioned grandnephew discovering the location of the 46th room of my 45-room estate. The location of the room has been kept a secret from all the staff and servants of the manor, and I am confident that any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts in a timely manner. Should my grandnephew fail to uncover this room or provide proof of his discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse.
But what's the time frame? Or is there no time frame?
I forget what it is. There is a time frame. I forget what it is off the top of my head, and I apologize.
Yeah, that feels...
It's not long.
I'm assuming something crazy like 3 days or something like that.
I think it's more than that, but yeah, it's...
Okay, 2 weeks maybe. I don't know.
Could be a month, but yeah. It's... I don't remember off the top of my head, and I apologize.
P.S. Did you register the codes with the proper authorities? Because that's really where I would start. Be like, hey, attorney, you get on this, and I'm going to start banging holes in walls.
Oh, no.
I got a hand screwdriver. We're
So-
just going to put through every hole, and then I'll pay for spackling later.
There's another wrinkle to all of this.
Oh, no.
First off, Simon cannot stay in the house overnight.
What if he just stays up late?
Can't. You cannot stay in the house overnight because, due to the nature of the mansion and the world that we are playing in, the mansion has a different layout each day.
Oh, no. I don't want this house.
And not only that, Simon only has so many room transitions he can do each day. You can regain rooms as you go. So basically, every time we go through a door, we are also given a selection of rooms that can be through that door. This is where it kind of feels like a board game because you get a selection of tiles of what's going to be next.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. No, I hate it. I hate it. I hate this. I'm not going to like playing this game. I'm going to lose handedly. I would lose the house and be like, fine, that's cool. I'm going to live my life pretending like this never happened.
The thing is, all that would be enough for a game,
Yeah.
you know, but they went so much deeper into the backstory and lore here. Not only is this not our universe, like I thought, with the weird timey-wimey stuff with the mansion layout, this isn't even on Earth. And I know that's not too insane. We talk about Myst and other games where we're in alternate universes and stuff, but this is not how I expected it to go. We are on the planet Mora. It is one of 5 planets in this solar system. It has 2 moons. It is also the only known planet to bear life and is inhabited by humanity amongst other species.
Okay.
We only ever deal with humanity, really. When they say other species, I believe they're talking about animals.
Humanity.
We begin in Agera, or the First Age, on the continent of Orindia.
Wow. Wow. This is going really hard for a board game room search kind of setup here. Okay.
There, Oris, a rich and powerful merchant lord, ruled over the central area of the continent, unifying much of the continent under his black banner. We know very little of him, save for his own ancestors came from the south and had some magical ability.
Okay.
We eventually get to the Second Era, where the 4th king of Orindia, who doesn't have a name in the record as far as I could find, split the land between his 3 children. The eldest, a son, receives the central realm, basically where they've been since the first king, and names it Orinda Ares after Orinda.
Okay.
The middle child, a daughter, receives the southern realm of Araja, and the youngest child, a son, receives the northern realm of Arch Ares.
Okay.
The kingdoms all prosper through the Third Era thanks to a massive railway that was constructed that connects all these disparate realms. There's some fracturing into smaller kingdoms as time goes on, but everything remains amicable. Then we get to the Fourth Era, where we meet King Desilets III of Orinda Ares.
Sounds like a lot of words that have been put together to sound as regal as possible to a Western ear.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a populist monarch, even moving the castle from the rural Reddington to the more populous Oris to be closer to his people. He is well loved by the people, but not well loved by the rest of the nobility.
Uh-oh.
And the other kingdoms also have some issues, particularly in the city of Fen. Now, there's some confusion for me at this point as to whether Fen is a city-state or part of a larger country at this particular point. Either way, they don't like Desilets III.
Desilets III, boo, says the nobility.
Right. Nobility against a populist... Never mind.
Who would have seen that coming? Oh my gosh.
On October 5th, 1864, Desilets III dies and was replaced by his son, who was not as well liked by either the people nor the nobility. Literally, the next day, October 6th, the self-proclaimed Prince Learson of Fen, backed by a cadre of Fen's nobles, declares himself the rightful king of Orinda Ares.
Well, I guess when you're going to get a dissatisfied sandwich like you're in that heir apparent,
Yeah.
what else are you supposed to do except start a war? Obviously.
Desilets IV mobilizes his army to deal with, and I'm not making this up, Fensurrection.
Boo. That name is bad and you should feel bad.
The campaign becomes unexpectedly protracted and bloody, leaving the city in ruins and resulting in numerous civilian casualties. There's an international outcry against King Desolates IV. Fen gained support of the countries of Arch Ares to its north, and Nuance, which is another country that is known for its airship technology,
Interesting.
to the west of Arinda Ares. So Desolates IV is flanked. His country is totally surrounded.
Yeah, that's you're gonna have a bad time there. Just a bad time.
Also, a huge boon for Fen, General Teskin of the Northern Regiment of Arinda Ares chooses to rebel and swear fealty to Prince Learson.
Oh, okay, all
Yeah.
right then. Wow. So literally, it sounds like
It's having a bad time.
this sounds like somebody who just didn't know how to politic. Just, hey, my dad's well liked, so that means everybody's gonna like me too, right? Doesn't usually work out like
Nope.
that, my guy.
And this begins what is called the War of Ruin. Now, this war lasted for 22 years until 1886. It ends on March 10th with the surrender of the Desolates army to the Fen army following the decisive battle of Colossus Orinda.
Yeah, he had like 2.5 countries backing him,
Yeah.
of course.
All the remaining members of House Desolates flee into exile into Araja, where they are granted asylum.
Okay. All right.
So now we begin the 6th era. We kind of stop keeping track of eras after this point. General Teskin is crowned the new emperor of the Grand Realm of Fen Ares
Interesting. Okay, so we've got an empire now.
and moves the capital again, this time from Oris. Remember, it used to be in Reddington.
Yes.
Then it moved to Oris. Now it's being moved to the Grand City of Fen.
So now we're getting a little jingoistic, it feels like.
Oh, we're going to go further. Teskin is not a
No.
great monarch.
No.
He's authoritarian,
Of course.
and the kingdom becomes heavily stratified.
Of course.
Trade is squashed. That railroad that spanned the realms is torn up.
No.
Fen moves to squash dissenting opinions and history. We'll even find a history book on the history of the continent that has a stamp on the inside that says, "This book was reviewed and cleared for publication by the Fen Ares Central Board of Education. It has been edited to conform to our department standards, including the omission of sections deemed inaccurate or unsuitable for public dissemination."
Stop being true to life in my world right now as a U.S. citizen. Stop it.
And
I
we mean-
don't want this.
Heavily redacted. We can find the first print and the revised print with whole paragraphs completely blacked out. The
Oh,
authoritarianism goes so far that we can find school tests where kids are writing what their favorite color is, like, kindergarten, first grade tests. And everybody's favorite color, every single one,
Is the colors of Fen?
is red, which just happens to be the color of the kingdom.
Yep. Yep. Sounds pretty not cool.
It is within this continuing regime in 1912 that Baroness Arave of Trinsdale finalizes the purchase of the 80-acre Mount Holly estate from Lord Arthur Clementine, owner of most of the land of the Reddington Mountains where the old capital city used to be.
Interesting. Okay.
She is an architect of renown, and it is she that drafts much of the mansion,
Okay.
and also imbues the mansion with the magic that allows architects to change the layout of the mansion almost at whim.
And that's right. So we have magic. Now, is this a general... I don't know if you're going to get into it later, Mystic, but is this a general, like, hand-waving magic kind of like...
It's a
it
thing that
is-
happens.
It's a thing that happens. Okay. So it's a convenient explanation for
To a
some
degree.
stuff.
We know that King Oris's ancestors had some magical ability and they came from somewhere to the south. It is
Okay.
not like everybody has this ability.
So you're born with the ability to use magic. You can't just learn magic.
I believe so.
Okay.
I don't know if this goes that deep.
So it sounds very Harry Potter-esque.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except, less disappointing author stuff.
Sometime later, her husband, Baron Thomas Sinclair, hires a mining company to excavate under the mansion. What they find is quite interesting.
Diamonds!
They not only find a black print, a different type of blueprint. There's a lot of blueprints in this game.
Oh.
But they find a black print which is a unique type of blueprint that dates back to the time of King Horus.
Oh.
They also find the tomb of Desilets III.
Wow. So he was hidden away.
Yeah, turns out the mansion and the estate are built upon the ruins of the old castle that used to be in Reddington.
Interesting.
And of course, most of this is now scrubbed from the acceptable history books.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Finn forward history is not going to want to support any of this.
The problem is, even if nobody outside the family knows about the ruins and nobody talks about the old history, some people still know, obviously. It's not been that long. And they know where the Sinclairs live, and they know the significance of the location. And so word begins to spread through the Fen upper class that the Sinclairs are Arindon sympathizers.
Merely just because they chose the wrong piece of land to build a house.
Yes, but they're also not wrong.
Okay, that's fair. You know.
The Baron and Baroness have 2 children, Herbert, Simon's granduncle, and Simon, our protagonist's grandfather.
Okay.
So Herbert would grow up with a love of puzzles and games and also never get married. He inherited his father's business and company and was mostly solitary in his life, save for his personal valet of 40 years, Hartley Rauta.
Personal valet, you say?
In a letter to Hartley Rauta, he writes, I don't think there's anything I can say of the past 40 years that I haven't already attempted to tell you in numerous times in the past. Half-stated gratitude, always interrupted with tactful and polite repudiations from you. I have always known this final letter could give me the perfect opportunity to finally express myself uninterrupted by you and unfettered by social graces. But I don't feel the inclination to say aloud what has always been unsaid between us. And then in a letter to Simon, in his tomb, he writes, I think there is no greater sin than to perpetuate tradition that stagnates growth, that strangles purpose, that suffocates dreams. What point is there to live another's life at the sake of our own? As you might have guessed, there is a theory amongst the fans that Herbert was gay.
A theory? A theory, you say?
I only say that because we don't have a relationship at some point. We have a letter that he wrote.
Dude,
so.
The subtext is text at this point.
No,
that closet has disco lights coming out from underneath it. How can you not see what is being said? That is some homosexual backstory going on over there, if you ask me. I'm here for it. I think it's great. I don't mind it, but
it's pretty unlikely that the authoritarian regime would take kindly to that lifestyle, though.
Well, most authoritarian regimes that we know about in Western history, at least, are patriarchal. So, of course, the patriarchy doesn't like the idea of men not having children with women. Yeah, that's just how it is.
And even then, they tend not to like the other that much.
Oh, period.
So.
Period. End of the sentence right there.
But, yeah, suffice to say, Herbert was likely in the closet. Simon, meanwhile...
Trapped in a closet.
Simon, meanwhile, did get married to Lady Clara Epson and had a daughter, Mary Epson. Now, I do find it interesting that the boys inherit their father's name and the girl inherits her mother's name.
Yeah,
until she gets married.
I feel like that is a tradition in certain parts of Europe.
I believe it.
I don't know completely how that works, though. I don't want to speak on it because I just naively have heard this a couple of times in my life.
Yeah. Anyway, Mary Epson is our protagonist's mother. According to her mother, she is not a Sinclair, nor is she an Epson. She is a Géry.
Why is this the claim?
We do not know exactly what that means.
Yeah.
It's not whatever, but it is surmised by fans that this means she is descended from Arajan royalty.
Okay, so is Epson a cover name, or is there an affair thing going on?
No idea. I think it might be a cover-up thing because specifically the Géry are from the Desilets family that fled Orinda to Araja after the war.
Oh!
So her family lineage ties back to the Desilets family.
So, and it would make sense then that they would try to marry it off to a family that is somewhat sympathetic to their history and also happens to have this big honking house on the land.
Yeah, but this, of course, also makes Simon a member of the nobility.
Ooh.
Hidden though it may be.
Yeah.
Mary, for what we can tell, was a creatively precocious child. She visited her Uncle Herbert often, and he gave her the nickname Marigold. Keep that in mind.
Oh.
She married her partner, Daniel. We don't have a ton about her childhood. She married her partner, Daniel, after returning home from college, leading to Simon being born in 1979 when Mary was 21.
Okay.
Mary was...
So right away, right after college.
Yeah.
Bam.
Mary was a writer and an artist, famed for her children's books, including The Red Prince, which she published under the name Marion Marigold. The book was fully authorized by Fenn, though we can find the original transcript. See if you can find what they changed. Here's the revised version.
Okay.
There was a red prince who sat on a red throne. He had a red crown made of rubies and a red castle made of stone. The prince had a love for all things red. It's the only true color, the prince often said. He could not stand the sight of a canary or a crow. He could not stand the white of a swan in the snow. And he never looked up for fear of the view. He had heard that the sky was not a red hue. So he always had a book to turn his eyes down if he was ever outside when the clouds weren't around. And do you know which book that prince always had? The one that made him happy whenever he was sad? A story he had read in the bath and the bed, and maybe you can guess with the clues that we've said. It is a story of a boy who also wore red, and he looked like our prince from his toes to his head. And as you, my reader, might already assume, this book is quite near you, in fact in the same room. A story about you, if it needs to be said, about a red prince and his book, the red book we just read. That's the revised version, the one that was authorized to be released.
Interesting.
Here is her original.
Okay.
There was a red prince who sat on a red throne. He had a red crown made of rubies and a red castle made of stone. The prince had a love for all things red. It is the only true color, the prince often said. So far, so good.
So good, yeah.
Kind of the same for the next part, too. He could not stand the sight of a canary or a crow. He could not stand the white of a swan in the snow. And he never looked up for fear of the view. He had heard that the sky was not a red hue. He didn't see the birds or the changing of the leaves, and he never saw the sights of life's many symphonies. He couldn't see beyond the red shade he was aware. He never caught a glimpse of the world I had to share.
Ah.
But one day the prince saw something new, and if you look closely, you might see it too. The skies parted and the clouds withdrew. The prince had a new favorite color, the color blue. The authorities in Fenn called the work too political and made her change it.
It's too political to like the color blue.
To not like the color red.
But he didn't dislike it. He just got a new favorite color.
I know, I get what you're saying, but...
I understand that you, Mystic, understand what I'm saying. I do also want to state that is absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
It's just... Yeah, okay, never mind.
After her mother passed away in 1983, Mary created 3 fake aliases.
Okay.
Bet you didn't expect that entirely.
No, I might not have expected it, but man, does that sound necessary.
And then she joined the Children of Blackwater, a resistance group against the authoritarian regime in Fenn.
Well, I wonder what he thought about the color black as well. I've got some suspicions, guys.
Well, black was also the color of, if you remember, it was the color of King Horus.
Yes.
So
Interesting.
Now, this is not wholly surprising. Her mother was against the regime as well, just not to such an extreme.
Yeah.
During this time, she publishes another book, Swimbird.
Okay.
I am a dare bird, a daring and brave bird, diving so deep bird, a ride on the wave bird. There is not a dare I would not do. There is not a depth I would not dive to. However, my friends are not very open to the idea that I like the sky less than the ocean. Bird in the sky, not in the sea. That is what they say when looking at me. You are not a seabird. You are not a swim bird. If you are friend bird, fly in the wind bird. And shouldn't you always listen to friends? For they know me best, or so they pretend. So I dare not dive, and I dare not swim. I dare not step foot in the ocean again. I dare not smile, and I dare not laugh. for they will do it for me on my behalf. And I dare not dream, and I dare not speak, for maybe my friends won't like the real me. And I will say goodbye to my dreams and the sea, and wonder why daring feels just like defeat.
That's so sad. And that was a children's book that got published?
Yes, she gains a reputation for being anti-Fen at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was also pretty obvious.
Yes.
Not as hard hitting subtext as the whole, like, let me not speak out loud what can't be unsaid by your uncle, but yeah.
Yeah.
What remains unsaid, sorry. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, that was a letter to one person. This is a published book.
Still. And he still didn't just say out loud, I love you. God damn it.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't even get it out there.
This all culminates when some of the other children of Blackwater are tried for treason after a bombing.
Ooh.
This sends Mary and the others into hiding, and then Mary flat out disappears.
Wow.
Yeah. The group has a goal of reclaiming the Orinda crown and bringing it back home, and also replacing the rubies with sapphires because...
Yes, symbolism.
They eventually do manage to pull this off, thanks in part to some sympathetic guards at the Royal Museum. For his part, after all of this, Herbert tells Simon what he told Mary he would tell him.
Mm-hmm.
His mother was murdered.
Wow.
Yeah, basically they both agree this is to shield Simon from any and all political fallout.
Right. That's fair.
And we never hear of her again. We don't know where she is or if she's alive or not. Nothing. She just completely disappears as far as we know.
That happens to a lot of political descendants in a regime like that. That's just how it goes. I mean, these days it's not as easy to do,
right.
But historically, that's par for the course, like, unfortunately.
The crown is what is housed in the 46th room of the estate.
Holy guacamole. Why? Herbert! No!
But there's more that Simon has to find. So from the antechamber of the 46th room, he can find a way down into those ruins that the mansion was built upon.
Okay.
Basically, it's a trek through Orindan history.
Ooh.
And all of this was designed by his mother and his uncle in the hopes that he would come to understand his whole heritage and why it was so important and what had transpired in the world. Because at this point, he has no idea because he lives in a place that's controlled mostly by Fen.
Right. So Fen propaganda has been fed to him since he was born.
Yes. It's the whole, I couldn't tell you during my life because it would cause trouble, so I'm going to let you know mysteriously when I'm dead and hope that you can work it all out thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Never been a source of trauma for anyone, ever.
No.
Nuh-uh. This always works out great, guys. There's no way that you not being there to emotionally help your child or your legacy handle this.
14-year-old child.
14-year-old child. You're burdening them with, P.S. You are actually secretly the heir to a regime that was overthrown because your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather just wasn't that popular. Just, he didn't know how to get along with people. Oh, darn. Like, that's just, you can't just burden a kid with that. Oh, man.
Yeah. So, of course, we're going to, condense the game story very briefly here into one paragraph because the game is finding out all that we just went through.
Yeah,
and
that makes
there's
perfect
tons of
sense.
stuff we didn't even cover. I'll cover little bits of it later. There's like 4 different lore videos, and just one is the story. And then there's, second characters and odds and ends and everything. Yeah.
But we're talking about the history that builds up
We're talking
to
about the main
actual
story.
House.
Yeah, there's other ones we can get into character histories and stuff. And,
okay.
Yeah. But, of course, Simon finds out that he is the heir to the throne of Orinda. That black print we find is, in fact, the print for to basically spawn the throne room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's a royal scepter found in the tomb.
Okay.
And this one threw me. I couldn't find out. There's not much on this thing. A cursed idol.
Whoa.
With the magic of his ancestors and tied to his lineage because Orinda has to have some darkness in its history. You can't have them be squeaky clean either. They're still better than Fen, but like...
They're better than current Fen,
yes.
too. So, like, we have to remember, OG Fen leadership was just like, this guy kind of sucks and honestly shouldn't be ruling stuff, and has evolved into, you shall obey the word of all Fen. Red is the best.
Yeah. So he has the crown. He takes his place upon the throne now that he has the crown, the scepter,
the forbidden
the throne
magic
room, and the forbidden magic in this idol, and basically takes his place upon the throne as the Blue Prince. Now I'm leaving out one. I don't know why they did it. The crown is called the Blueprint crown because it's like been repainted and like redone to be blueprints, and it just doesn't look right. It looks weird. But yeah, he symbolically ascends to the throne to continue the fight for Arindan independence, is how I take it. It's kind of one of those open for interpretation endings.
Oh, okay. All right.
But that's all we have of the main story. There's stuff I didn't get into. There's Red Letters, which was a blackmail attempt of the family.
Interesting.
There's the origins of the cursed statue, but there's not a lot there to deal with. Like, we know it's tied to the old family, like to the King Horus and stuff. We know it's tied to that lineage, but there's not a lot there other than how it was found.
Oh, interesting.
So, but the game, according to its devs, never had an intended solution, and there's a handful of endings. We've just covered one of them, but I've also seen the people call the ending where you just find the blue crown the end. And also there's one where you get a voiceover with the original version of the Red Prince story without the redacted ending.
Oh.
Like, you get that in a different one where he finds the crown. Like, that's it. There's another one where you just get to this box. It's kind of one of those games that you finished. Now we can keep playing with new stuff, with like more stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, the lead designer is a fan of leaving meat on the bone from what I saw in comments. So maybe that's hinting that there's going to be a sequel someday, or maybe not. In the end, not everything has to be explained.
I do like it when the point is that the ending is what you make of it.
The ending has not yet been written.
Well, or more like the ending. What you think the ending is more important than what is put out there to be quote unquote the ending. I was having this conversation with some writing friends. One of them wanted to do an ambiguous ending, and I won't get into the details of how to explain. And I remember mentioning it's kind of like if you remember, back in the day with Inception. I say, feeling the creak in my knees. I watched Inception in theaters, and I remember everybody getting really angsty about, well, wait, what does it mean at the end with the top spinning? What does it mean? What does it mean? And literally, the director said, it means what it wanted to. I just left it there for a reason. It's not about what I think. I'm not going to prescribe what the honest answer is. It's about what you think it is in that moment. And that's why the top continues to spin, and then it cuts away. And there's so many different theories about what it could mean, and that's the intent. The intent is people get out of it what they want out of it.
Right.
I think there's nothing wrong with doing that with a video game as well, especially one that's got a secret history, discovery, multiple endings.
Probably more than you expected when I said inheriting a mansion.
I will say we do have a pattern of, puzzle adventure games to a certain extent, where you've inherited a house and there's a really twisted legacy and there's a lot of death associated with it. I mean, I mentioned what's...
Yeah. Okay. What Remains of Edith Finch.
What Remains of Edith Finch. I feel like there's another one.
I don't know. I picked this one because I was like, this will be
Not the creepy neighbor one. I'm trying to remember what that one's called.
Hello Neighbor.
Hello Neighbor. There's a different one. Yeah, I just feel like that is a genre of like, hey, this house has secrets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we eventually will cover Gone Home and stuff.
Yeah.
Gone Home is so small though, but
well, it's been a while since we've done 2 games in one.
It's not that small. I'm not finding a lot of. The thing is, you would think that if I could get 30 minutes out of Superliminal.
And the creators actually really liked our episode too. That was when we were still on Twitter. I'm calling it Twitter, guys. And the creator found it, and he was like, not only is this like a good conversation of the game itself, but also what could happen next with it. I was like, oh man, I'm honored. Like, we pulled out some interesting stuff from there. And I think Superliminal probably doesn't even have the most minimal story per se. I think as much as there's more stuff to say, Dear Esther, I think, is probably the most minimal game we've really covered.
Yeah.
Because it's just one straight hour of grieving process.
Yeah.
Like, that's... Oh, my gosh.
But yeah, this was honestly not easy to get this one sorted. I am once again indebted to YouTubers who...
Yeah. And
parse these games far more in-depthly than I ever feel like I could.
Dude,
I mean,
there's some...
Myst I'll do, but all these different games I couldn't do it.
Do you want to give a shout out to the YouTubers who helped you with this episode? Just it's still research.
I definitely was pulling from Arcade in Doubt, RKADINDOUBT, and from the fan wiki for some of it too. So,
yeah.
Which, man, there are some fan wikis that are bad.
We've had this conversation before.
I swear fandom just opens up a fan wiki whenever there's a new game that comes out, and like one person will try to fill out a few pages, and that'll be it.
And in hopes that there's somebody obsessed enough to fill it out. I always hate it when...
Bring back Wikia.
I always hate it when it says you can help by expanding it, and it's a game that's been out for 20 years that's actually semi-popular, but nobody's had the effort to... I'm like, oh my god, don't make me do a let's play or a long play of this. How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, by the way, the speed run for this game is about 19 minutes. Because you can force the random number generation aspect of it.
That is longer than I expected. So
I mean, it's longer than Myst, the original version.
That's true.
But
that's true.
Yeah, just the story video I think is 17 minutes, and then you have all the other videos that are of equal length. So
crazy stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of people I tried to go through because again, I did play this game. I didn't finish it because it...
Oh, no, Mystic's going to go on a bit of a tirade.
No, I didn't finish it because my brain doesn't work in the planning part of this game.
Oh, that's going to be the benefit to me.
Yeah, it does.
You said
it doesn't
random
work.
Puzzle game, and I was like, ugh. And now you're saying there's planning, and I'm like, oh no.
There were so many times where I just ended up in a dead end because what rooms you pick changes the RNG of what rooms you're going to get at the next door, and yeah, it's
okay. Well,
yeah.
I
enjoy this game for the atmosphere, and when it's going well, it's going well. But I was not good at this game, so
all I'm going to say is this is probably why I win Wingspan.
All right, that's enough. Thank you guys for listening. The Thursday after you hear this episode, we will have Safi playing Blueprints.
And in the meantime, of course, on the alternate Thursdays, we have our Mass Effect 2 live stream. And then the Tuesdays after we release a new episode, I do my cozy stream of The Sims 4 because the world requires escape these days. And sometimes it's just a happy couple with their cat in a cozy spot in a cozy neighborhood. And that's what I need in my life right now. So join me.
We hope to catch you for those streams.
Yeah.
And again, if you want to support us, patreon.com/loretogether.
Yeah. Reviews, thumbs up, likes, 5 stars, all help. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
Catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.